Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the King of Diamonds channel. Now, my last video I discussed how much I hate the number 2, how it bothers me, and I despise movie duologies. The FBI found it, and I was committed to a psych ward for the night. And over my time at the psych ward, I was able to reflect on my opinions, and my distaste for the number 2 has only grown. It has become stronger. And after failure to make me a crack and some careful reconsideration, the FBI has released me from my captivity. And so I'm back here to discuss a movie that is the number 2 in a series that has not yet received a third movie. And funnily enough, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Knives Out 2 Glass Onion, starring Daniel Craig, Madeline Klein, Kate Hudson, Janelle Monáe, Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Leslie Odom Jr., Catherine Hahn, and Jessica Henwick. 'Tis a mystery thriller film that released in 2022 and was created by Netflix. So, we did discuss Knives Out 1, a thrilling murder mystery starring Foghorn Leghorn.
Real estate
Shut
billionaire.
up, Blanc. Shut up! Shut up with that Kentucky Fried Foghorn Leghorn drawl!
Tackling topics of family drama and domesticated disagreements, fallout due to people wanting money really badly, Big Foghorn Man figuring out who may or may not have killed someone in said family over a love for money. This movie is also a thrilling murder mystery, and it is about sending Foghorn Leghorn to a fancy island to investigate a rich dude. Now, this character is not memorable enough for me to warrant remembering his name, so I'm just going to refer to Rich Dude as Rich Dude. Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn goes to an island that he was invited to investigate a reunion between some co-workers. One of these co-workers happens to be super rich, and the other's successful, but not as successful as super rich man. They all seem friendly enough, but we find out pretty quickly that they all have problems with each other, especially super rich dude. It's because he stole their idea or took credit for an idea for an invention or something and used it to become successful, leaving them all behind. And so when one of these members is murdered, we get the vibe that, oh, apparently someone might kill more people.
What? No.
For whatever reason. And so it is Foghorn Leghorn's job to figure out who the murderer is and save the day. Something I discussed in my first review about why Knives Out 1 was really cool, but also a bit different, was because of the fact that halfway through the movie, they have a twist. They tell you who did the bad thing, and then you learn more about why the bad thing was done or how it was done, and then you get another twist at the end. And this movie, the second one, basically copy and pastes that, where we find out the truth halfway through the film, and then at the end of the movie we get another twist, rather than just one twist at the end. To be fair, it does make it interesting as a film on its own, but coming at it from the viewpoint that this is a sequel to a movie that has already done that, you'd think that maybe it would try something a little different. You know, I don't dislike it for what it is, but I remember when I first saw it and I was quite disappointed by it because I really did enjoy the first one quite a bit, despite my issues with it, I guess. But yes, this movie even now is still slightly disappointing, and I do think is a dip in quality compared to the first one. I think maybe one of the other reasons is I prefer the cast of the original film a lot better. I thought it was a lot stronger, the actors were a lot more talented. A lot of the characters in this movie feel a little more forgettable. Yes, they stand out to an extent, they're unique, but we don't really get to know them very well compared to the original film, where all of the side characters get their own sort of backstories and we get to see them being interviewed by Benoit Blanc, Foghorn Leghorn, and we find out more about how they tick, how they talk about each other behind their back, and the fact that they're all a family made the dynamic really interesting between them, especially when they are very backstabby towards each other. In this movie, they are not family members, they're a group of friends, or ex-friends technically. And yes, it's interesting to an extent, but it doesn't quite hit the same highs as the original film. I also think the mystery itself is just not as interesting. It's very predictable. The difference with the first and the second is the first one, it's not the easiest thing to just pick out what happened, because it's throwing different ideas at you a lot of the time, and when you think someone did the bad thing and then you find out otherwise, and then they kind of distract you with all these different bits of information and then give you the twist ending that you deserve by the end of the film that you always wanted. This movie, Glass Onion, I kind of just picked out who the bad guy was from the very beginning, and it was very obvious that he was a bad guy, and it ended up being the case. The movie does treat it as if it is a big twist, but really it's not. So I guess first film, clever, and doesn't need to prove itself. Second one, trying very hard to be as clever, but falling short, I guess. But that's not to say that there aren't positives to the movie. We see them at like a fancy island resort with a big mansion house, and it's got a nice vibe to it, and it's enclosed. I like it when a mystery is being held in an enclosed area where the characters can't get away too easily. Though the issue with that is that when characters are in an enclosed space and they can't get away, I want to feel like they're really threatened, so there's a reason why the writer has put them in an enclosed space. But this one, I don't feel that threat that I do with other mystery films. This one, I don't know, the stakes just felt lower. The film has its moments, but those moments aren't as earned, and those moments aren't as high as the original, and it's just quite frankly more forgettable. I go into the original and I watch it, and even though I've seen it quite a few times, I don't need to rewatch it to remember what the plot was, because I remember it off the top of my head. It's simple, but clever, and it's memorable. This movie's plot is trying to be clever. It comes across as more complicated than it needs to be. As a result, it becomes less memorable. I forget a lot of the characters a lot of the time, and I have to rewatch it to remember things. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this movie, but I'm not going to trash on it and say it's really bad, because it's not. It's just a little disappointing. But hopefully in the future that won't matter, because we are getting a third movie, and hopefully the third movie will be very good. I look forward to watching it, so I guess we'll see what the outcome of this trilogy is when the time comes. So yeah, Knives Out 2 is a movie, and it does exist, and you can watch it. Anyway, bye!